You've probably seen Evoques around for a while now. They are the entry crossover when you want to get into the Range Rover lineup of SUVs. And plus, the ladies love them. I'm assuming they love them because of the styling. Ours is the R-Dynamic version of the SE trim, which gives you the premium LED headlights. They are also auto leveling over the non-premium bases. It gives you these vents on the front, for example, but doesn't black them out for you, as there's a black package for that. It gives me a baby Range Rover Velar vibe for sure, which I also have a video of in case you wanted to watch that as well. But overall, I think it looks nice with the functional venting and the paint, which is an extra $850 upgrade, and the trim blacked out. On top of that is an additional $800, and all the extra prices I do say, I'll be saying that a lot for this vehicle. The base wheels for the Evoque are a silver finish 20-inch setup, but ours is supposed to have an upgraded 21-inch wheel finished in gloss black, which is pretty big for this thing, but it suits it in my opinion. But since we have the alternate winter wheels on this, you may have noticed they look different, of course. These are 19-inch wheels sitting on 235 series tires. These look okay, you know. Not my favorite. The silver ones definitely look nicer, but these being the winter wheels, that's, you know, oh well, they look pretty nice for winter wheels. And since we're talking about the wheels as well, you may have noticed the red calipers. Those are actually part of the dynamic handling package that costs an extra $1,400. It also gives you adaptive and configurable dynamics, which is driving dynamics. That's what Land Rover likes to call them. The rest of the side profile is like all the other Range Rover SUVs, with a nice slant towards the back. Since our Evoque is already painted in black, there's no need to pay for a contrast black roof, which is kind of a Range Rover tradition and a thing, as a signature design. But we don't get away that easy, because our Evoque is equipped with a fixed panel roof that's an extra $1,300. The rear looks slick, especially with those taillights. Like the Range Rover Velar and Sport, these have a full 3D look to them and are full LED. Literally everything back here is black except for that Land Rover badge, which, hey, you may or may not like. It kind of makes it stand out. Other than that, the wiper is tucked away neatly under the little spoiler up in the tailgate area. That gives it a nice kind of clean, sophisticated look. But other than that, the rear end is pretty easy going, you know. There's nothing kind of crazy about it. It's kind of simple, elegant, and sophisticated looking. Let's open up this cargo area and see how much junk you could put in the trunk. All right, before I open it up, ours does have the extra $100 optional Jester opening tailgate. So if you kick the blower part underneath the bumper here in either of the corners with the key in your pocket, it'll automatically open up for you. Of course, standard is a power tailgate, so you have to worry about that. So for this to work, you just have to kick this portion down here, and voila, it opens up for you. Now, once open, you have 22 cubic feet roughly in the trunk area behind the second row. Of course, if you want more space, you can also flip down those second row seats and get up to over 50 cubic feet. So it's definitely nice. I like how there's this privacy blocker, nice kind of material. You have a USB on that side. Of course, this doesn't have air suspension, so there's no buttons here to lower the rear area, but the height isn't too high off the ground here, and it has these nice silver kind of tread plates to look nice and hopefully protect a little bit more. But a little cargo area net over there, and underneath the floor you have a spare tire, which does look like a temporary spare tire. So but yeah, Land Rover usually has some pretty good prices for full-size spare tires, but in my opinion, this does not look too bad at all. Let's jump inside. Before we step inside, let's quickly take a look underneath the hood. We have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder underneath. Ours makes the 246 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque options. There is a more powerful available, same engine but more power, almost 300 horsepower, and it kind of shaves off the 0 to 60 by almost 1 second. This does 0 to 60 in 7.6. The other is 6.8, so not bad. It's mated to a 9-speed transmission, and that puts the power down all-wheel drive system. The fuel economy in the city is 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers and 11.9 on the highway. For miles per gallon, that is 20 on the highway and 27 in the city. It weighs almost 4,000 pounds and can even tow up to 3,968 pounds. So close yet so far. It's surprising that this thing could tow. Well, not surprising, I guess. SUVs usually can, but I've never seen anybody tow anything with a Evoque before, so hey, I'll give you that. Thank you to Jaguar Land Rover of Calgary, Alberta for letting me borrow this Evoque. If you're interested in this or any other Land Rover or Jaguar model or even anything on their used lot, the link to their website is right below that like button in the description down below. The interior of the Range Rover Evoque is identical to all the others in the lineup, just like the Velar, Sport, and full size, which is a great thing if you like those interiors. It gives you the same levels of luxury, obviously with a little cost cutting, but the same kind of comfort for less and in a compact size. I love the sleek door handles, by the way. Pushing those buttons, which is on all four, pops them out, and when they're locked, or the vehicle is locked, they have a really nice slick kind of look to it. And they're very sturdy feeling too. They're not kind of cheap or flimsy feeling. So let's pull on this. And we're complemented with a black on black on black with the black badges and the black wheels and the black interior and the black trim pieces and kind of look, kind of traditional of a Range Rover, I guess. Let's take a look at this door panel. So we have what I think Land Rover calls this dual leather. So you have this open texture kind of grainy material for the door panels, nice stitching, soft touch over here. These silver accents feel pretty nice. I'm not a fan of the gloss black down here, but the handle feels nice too. The switches, familiar if you've been in a Land Rover product, you've seen these before, and a pretty decent size cubby for your door pockets. I would have liked to have seen some metal speaker cover grills. That would have been nicer to see that. I think you do get a nicer one when you get a premium Meridian sound system, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's first of all jump in. Fairly nice, easy step in height. Boom. Now, let's quickly start up this vehicle. Power button right there. It flashes like this on the camera just because it's LEDs. Usually it doesn't do that in real life. Let me turn on the HVAC controls. All right, so let's take a look at the steering wheel. Actually, hold on. Let me quickly turn the vehicle around so it's easier on your eyes. Okay, I'm back. I've turned it around. It's much easier to see. No more sunlight kind of glaring in. So this steering wheel is the exact same as what you'd find in a top-end Range Rover Velar, which is a great thing. The only thing missing really is a stitch airbag cover and leather. Other than that, everything else is the same. Same great kind of perforated leather. The stitching along the wheel is great as well. And the same great looking metal paddle shifters, which are real, of course, and they feel so nice in the hand as well. Behind this, actually, without forgetting, the normal setting for the wheel is actually a manual telescoping and adjusting wheel, but we do have the upgraded electronically adjusting wheel, which is an extra $550 for this. Now, behind the wheel, we have a digital display. Now, this thing looks great in person. The graphics are really, really nice. It's sharp. It is a little bit slower. As you can see, the glitching here going on. This is normal speed, not being fast forwarded or anything. So there's that, but everything else does look good. You can customize it, have a full map, 1 dial, 2 dials, whatever you really want. And other than that, like, there's no heads-up displays above that. But this does look very nice. I've seen other Evoques in the 2022 model year that has a analog gauge setup as well still, but this one doesn't have that, so I'm assuming it's an option. I didn't see it online, but I'm assuming that this is an extra upgrade as well. Now, moving on to what's important. This wonderful Pivy Pro 10-inch infotainment system. You get a little close in there for you. So first of all, this infotainment is great. It's the new software, which I've shown before on the Velars and the F-Paces. It's all kind of the same. The navigation itself is great. It's pretty snappy as well. Way better than before, that's for sure. The backup camera, there's a quality for that. Super high quality backup camera. It's really, really good quality, which is a great thing. There's no 360 cam, as you can see. That is an additional option. It's going to cost you an extra, I believe it is $800 for that. So that's one thing if you need that. But if you don't need it, then, oh well, you're good to go. Of course, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are obviously standard as well. The audio system that it connects to is the Meridian audio system. The base is not Meridian branded. This one is the middle trim, and the full upper trim, or the third level of the sound system, is a Meridian surround sound, which is available for $950. Ours is an extra $450. So we also do have adaptive cruise controls as per the settings here. It's an extra, guess how much it is. It's an extra $1,200 for that. So before I forget, moving on to the lower portion, here's our rear view mirror, of course, right? Beautiful, looks nice. We do have the, what do they call it? They call it the, I think they call it the smart view mirror, but as you can see, so the rear window is pretty small, so the visibility is pretty bad here. So with a, you know, an upgrade of an extra $550, you can flip the switch right here. And there you go, you have full views of the back with the antenna that's towards the rear end there. And of course, down here as well, some buttons over here. Those are also the garage HomeLink door openers, which are an extra $200 for that as well. So there's a lot of extras you kind of have to pay for in this vehicle. Considering it's a luxury vehicle, it should have something standard in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is. What can you do? Now, let me move on to the HVAC controls here. So, you know, first of all, sitting here, this looks like a Velar, even a Sport in full size, you know, minus kind of this area back here. But everything else over here looks really great in my opinion. Here's what I like about this. The dials, hashtag save the knobs, you know I gotta say it. So this is very nice, your dial adjustments. You can push them in for your seat heaters. 3-stage, no cooled seats in this one. And you can, there should be other Range Rover models, you can pull on that for the fan speed. So with this, you have to press the button to adjust fan speed, but that is what it is. You have your driving dynamics, as what Land Rover and Jaguar likes to call them. This is adaptable too. If you don't pay for that, you don't get like a dynamic mode here. So when you select a different mode, your gauges, if you had them up there, would be red as well. But let's leave it to comfort. Your auto start stop. So this is a pretty, you know, easygoing system once you get used to it. At the beginning, it can seem kind of overwhelming, but it is definitely not that bad. Now, moving on to the lower portion here. So your shifter. This is fairly nice, a joystick kind of feel, trigger in the back, you know, park button here. It's nice and kind of sturdy feeling, so that feels great. I love this gray material. Oh, sorry. It's also kind of scattered out through the interior, like right underneath over there as well, so that's nice. Other than that, you know, there's not too much over here. We have the silver trim. It's kind of shiny. It's going to get dirty eventually. I cleaned it up so it looks nice and clean, but very grippy cup holders and a dual tier center arm storage area. So by dual tier, I mean it could open up individually basically, so you don't bother other people, right? And they also slide individually. I like the padding here, stitched, which is nice. Flick this up and move it forward, and so you have more of a armrest area here as well. So that kind of, you know, be easier to rest your arm on. But yeah, as you can see, once you open these guys fully up, you have some USBs. Let's do that. So USB-C, USB-A, and a 12 volt, and a pretty deep storage as well. You know, I could fit, I mean, I guess, you know, a quarter of my arm in there. Oh, sorry, you can't see. And it's lined with belt too. And aside from that, let's talk about these seats. Let me go back into a wide angle here and take a look at these seats. Now the seats themselves are fairly nice. I wish there was more color to it or some different contrast stitching. Everything's kind of black stitching on the black interior and no kind of extra trim pieces to them. But you know, you have your power or manual adjusting headrest and 12-way power adjusting front seats. Now, if you want different colors, you can get those. I believe you can get a red interior and a grayish kind of interior along with a black, but you have to upgrade to a different kind of full leather interior package for that. So, but you know, the black on black does not look bad at all. You even have some speakers up on your, where are they? Oh, there they are, the headrest area, so that looks pretty cool too. And you have your panoramic roof options as well. It is a fixed panel roof, so you're gonna have to deal with that. If you like it or you don't like it, that's on you. It does not open, but you know, you have a great commanding view of the sky. But aside from that, let me jump into the rear. I'm gonna adjust my seat where I would be comfortable, which is kind of where it's at right now. I'm 6'1", and let's see how much space I got back in that second row. All right, time to jump into the second row. Same kind of deal going on here. And you'll see that the door panels kind of look the exact same, so it's nice to see there's no cost cutting there. The silver trim, the black trim, little indicators saying there's a car coming, don't open the door, so those are all nice to see. Jumping in, doesn't look like we have too much space, but step in height isn't too bad. You're gonna have to duck your head because of that roof. But yeah, okay, here I am. So it kind of reclines back a little bit, which is nice. And because there's an open panel roof that's fixed, I have a good amount of headroom that's not rubbing against the ceiling. And here's my leg room. My knees have a good bunch of inches going on over here, and my feet can kind of get tucked underneath the front seat, so that's not bad at all. Some coat hooks over here. Now here is the interesting thing. This actually has upgrades. Upgrades, people, upgrades. Now, that's all down here as well. Because we have heated seats in the back, these are an extra $500. They're an extra, like a 3-stage kind of heated seat for the outboard seats, of course. So $500 for those. And on top of that, the vents themselves is also extra as well. The climate control buttons here, as you can see, they're, you know, they look nice. They feel very nice and high quality. But these and the vents are, I believe, an extra $600 just to have the vents back here as well. So if you don't pay for them, you don't get them, which is kind of surprising. I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate, but that's what the website was saying, so I'm going based off of that. Now, aside from that, everything else is pretty nice and handy. You know, the door panel, let me close this up. A solid thunk. Shout out Redline Reviews. It feels good. The seat backs, they have kind of nice pockets going on here as well. I love the same kind of design going on. They feel nice and soft. Some child anchor seats, and yeah, not too much going on back here. There's a little fold down armrest here, nice and plush, like every car, I swear to God. It's super soft, and grippy cup holders with that same kind of material that you'll find in the fronts, so your drinks are usually pretty solid. Now, the last thing we have left to do is go for a drive, so let's see how this puppy is. All right, here we are. Last thing we have left to do is the driving impressions. Now, do you guys really, should we even bother doing a quick acceleration test? Because we already know it's slower than 7 seconds from 0 to 60. So, you know, I'll just put it in dynamic mode and give it some aggressive gas just to see if it's good for merging lanes, pickup, stuff like that, you know, for city driving at least. All right, cool. I'll just do that. Cool. Okay, you happy? Okay. Yes, it's definitely doable for, let me adjust my mirrors. Put it back into comfort mode here. Obviously in dynamic mode, it's gonna shift at higher RPMs as well. So it's got enough pep for it to be quickly accelerating. You know, you could always get the almost 300 horsepower P300 version. This is the P250. And other than that, you know, as I've been driving this for the last little while, it's a very, what I like about it is the size. It's great for city driving if you live in a tight urban area or downtown. It's easy to park, easy to see and get around, of course, except for that rear window, because of how small it is, because of the size of this thing, which is, you know, it could be a negative reason for you as well. It depends on what your needs really are. Definitely decent space, you know, especially if you put down those second row seats. It's pretty comfortable to drive. I think this is the only Range Rover branded vehicle that doesn't have air suspension, so there's that. But even without the air suspension, it's been a pretty smooth, quiet ride. The materials that they've used for isolation of noise is well. You don't really hear too much road noise, even on the highways. If you have a bad road, you're going to hear more, obviously, but this isn't too bad. Your visibility is pretty good. You know, the front windshield is large and the A-pillars are slim enough, you know, because they get pointed towards you, so they have a slimmer kind of profile. The rear window and side mirrors are big. Your blind spot for the usual suspect and passenger side is a bit more difficult to see, but you have indicators on your mirrors for that. Aside from that, you know, it's pretty decent on gas. At least it's got a small fuel tank, especially nowadays with the crazy fuel prices that we have. That's one thing. One thing that, you know, may or may not be of interest to you, if actually, well, it will be an interest to you, is pricing if you're interested in buying this. Now, the way that this one is spec'd out here in Canada, where I am, this is priced out at $78,939 plus taxes. Yeah, that's what it's at Jaguar Land Rover Calgary. A direct conversion into the US is $62,768 around this time, which is, what's the date today, Jimmy? Like March 23rd, March 24th. That's kind of like a direct conversion around this time. So it could be different depending on when you watch this video. So that's, you know, a pretty hefty price tag. You know, I think you're gonna take a look into competitors for sure, but you know, a lot of people that get the Range Rover Evoques usually want to get into the Range Rover family and, you know, experience what it's like. And I think that it does a great job at doing that, because it's designed to be an entry-level Range Rover branded SUV. And when you jump into the interior here, when you're in the driver's seat, everything, when you look at in the center of the dash and your steering wheel, your driver's display, it looks just like a Range Rover Velar or a Range Rover Sport or even a full size. Just your shifter area is a little bit different, but everything else is pretty darn similar. The software is the exact same, and you know, the design of the outside is the exact same. It's basically meant to be that baby Range Rover for those that, I guess, want to get a good feel without spending a lot of money, or this is kind of where they want to start and then work their way up if that's what they want to do. Man, I'm talking so fast, I'm running out of breath. And I think that's kind of really it. You know, it's a fun little SUV for the city. You can definitely take it on road trips. It has different programs like your same drivetrain programs like your other Range Rover and Land Rover vehicles. You know, you can go through the mud, or if you want to. I haven't really seen too many Evoques go off-roading, but yeah, I'll leave it at that because it's getting pretty dark too. One thing I forgot to mention is that apparently this one has ambient lighting as well. I'll try to show it to you guys, a little B-roll footage here, but it's an extra option of, I think, $450. So, you know, once again, more money. But it's not really, in my opinion, too special, because I forgot to mention beneath the HVAC controls, there's a little open cubby for your wireless charger. There's a light there. There's a couple lights in your door panels and your footwell area, and that's kind of it. So ambient lighting is something that, you know, Land Rover needs to work on for sure. And I think they will do that with the next generation of all these vehicles when they start redesigning them. So I will end it with that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you on the next one. If you like this video, you know what to do. Have a good one. Peace.